Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, this channel focuses on the ins and outs of living in the beautiful country of Poland. Now, today's video is going to be a follow-up video about what is happening over in Ukraine. As I already mentioned, I did a video about 2 weeks ago titled A Neighbor in Trouble. And that video was about the war in Ukraine. Specifically, I did that video a day or posted that video a day after the attack happened and the war kind of broke out. Now, I live in the southern region of Poland called the Silesian region or Silesia, and I've noticed something amazing in this region, as I only can speak for this region as I live here. And it has been a tremendous amount of support for Ukrainian refugees that are coming into this region. In addition to that, because I live and work in a different city, I also go to university in a different region of Poland. And I've noticed that in those locations that there is a lot of support. And I noticed that by seeing Ukrainians that are being hosted by locals. And I also see that with Ukrainian flags that are being flown around the region to kind of show its solidarity with Ukrainians. I work at an ESL school. However, I contract with about 3 to 4 other schools. So I just don't work in one location. And when I'm working in those separate locations, I'm working with Polish residents. I'm working with people who live in Poland and people who are Polish. And the first question I have gotten these last 2 weeks is, how do I feel about the war in Ukraine? And in addition to that, I'm getting support from those teachers. And they're just mentioning how awful it is and how they're scared, but how they feel it's important to support Ukrainians. I am super proud of this country, and I'm super proud to be in Poland, a country that is being extremely supportive. Ukraine and Poland have had a relationship for centuries, and despite some of the relationships that may have not been great, Poland is showing its support 101%. And I think that it is an amazing thing to see for me as kind of being an outsider and being a foreign person living in Poland. One of the biggest things that I've noticed is that in the town that I work in, over in Jore, there are some organizations and businesses that are housing Ukrainian refugees, specifically mothers and their children. I've also seen that the schools that I contract with, that they have, asked parents to pull in resources, mainly with clothing items and food for refugees. And specifically because I work in daycare settings, a lot of these donations are children's clothes and children's toys. However, the biggest, donation that has actually touched my heart is that I have a woman that I study with. I will not mention her name, but she knows exactly who I'm talking about. And there are two things that she did. The first thing that she did was that she wrote me, and she wanted, for us to kind of brainstorm together and kind of figure out a way that we can support Ukrainian students or other students that are affected by the war in Ukraine. And so we were able to get together, and I was able to write something that I have emailed to the university to try to help support students and try to kind of get a funding source for students that may be in need. When that is set up at the University of Opole, or any information, I definitely will link that in my description box so that you'll be able to donate directly to students who are going to the University of Opole. In addition to that, she also she has some Ukrainian refugees that have been relocated to her small town, and her and her friends got together and they were kind of gathering things that they didn't need. And she noticed that, a lot of things that are being donated, or that she saw that were being donated to this specific family, that they were things that were kind of old and kind of useless. And so she actually went out of her way and dug deep into her pockets and went to go buy some new items, specifically a cookware, so that, the Ukrainian people that would be staying in her town would have appropriate things to use. And that was something that I felt really showed her character and really just kind of got the water working in me. And I'm really proud of her for doing that. And I was super happy to be, acquainted to someone with a big heart. I understand that there are a lot of ways to show support and to support. And so in our description box, we have some links of different ways that you can support Ukrainian refugees. In addition to that, I just want to mention this one last thing before we, end this video. I got this information from the same friend, the same wise Polish friend, and she told me that, we were at university and the vibes were, down, and everyone was kind of, quiet and kind of, just feeling down in general. And she, kind of pulled me to the side. And in her joking way, she said, "You know what, Pete? You gotta smile and you gotta laugh, or you're going to go crazy." And that resonated with me. During these times, they are difficult times, and we're not sure what the outcome is going to be, or, what lives are going to be lost, and what families are going to be separated from their loved ones or lose their loved ones. And so it is a very hard time for the world as we kind of watch things unfold. However, we have to remember one, like Polish people are doing, to show our humanity regardless of, religion, regardless of race, and regardless of past conflict. During this time is an important time to stand together in solidarity to support Ukraine and to demonstrate that as a globe, we are one people and we are one group of people, we are humanity. In addition to that, it's also important to inject a little bit of happiness into every single day. So it's important to laugh, it's important to still have fun. And specifically, if you live in a region where there are Ukrainian refugees, I recommend you to try to help lift their spirits. It's one thing to donate money. It's another thing to donate accommodation, but it's also probably the most important thing is to be a shoulder to cry on, or to be that one person to bring a smile to someone's face. Anyhow, if you like this content, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you next week.